my name is Wolf, and I'm going to be coming at you today with the meta druid, the bunker druid, the druid that everyone is going to be running in ranked PvP if they want to play a ranger at the moment. There is the Sikkim sniper that I did cover as well. You can see a link to that via a card somewhere if I remember to put it there. If not, it might be in the end screen, etc, etc. You'll be able to also skip to the gameplay section via the end screen or the description. Now, with that being said, let's get into the builds, because I'm going to cover absolutely everything. The weapons, the sigils, the rune, the amulet, the whole nine, as well as how to play it, and then do a gameplay portion at the end in a separate video. So let's go ahead and pop into this by clicking the magical PvP build button, and we'll be using Greatsword and Sword Warhorn. Now, you can use Greatsword in the Sword Warhorn slot if you prefer that, but personally I quite like having Warhorn 5 because this is an exceptional match starter, especially if you have a teammate who drops a blast field, or if you're with a duo partner, because then you can get them to drop a blast field, say an engineer hammer field for example, or just a chaos storm. You can blast that and you can get more stuff, etc, etc, etc. Sigils wise, oh wait, I should cover one more thing, is that with sword you also have even more evades. So your 3 does an evade, you are evading during that whole frame, and then you have absolutely exceptional movement with sword 2. And we all know what longbow does, and we all know why we use longbow. So PvP back in here, we've got sigils. We have Sigil of Energy and Sigil of Cleansing whenever you swap to the Sword Warhorn. I don't recommend switching to it in combat, but if you do, you'll get extra energy, you'll get a condition removed, etc, etc, etc. It's just all around good if you accidentally wind up pressing the button, or if you need to get out of a fight, then this is what this weapon set is pretty much for. Moving over to our longbow, we have Separation and Exploitation. It's a little bit of a modification on my end. Most of them run, I think, Cleansing here, but Separation seems to work quite well for me because I'm able to stay at a decent range with longbow ranger at most times, as well as with my combo I like to do, due to a little modification I've made to the talents. Separation gets me a nice 5% extra damage pretty much most times, and Exploitation is 5% extra damage to targets below 50% health. This will help line up your rapid fire on squishier targets, and I'll cover the kind of major burst combo in a little bit at the end. It's pretty simple, but this factors into that and allows you to kill things pretty damn fast, even as this setup here. Now, going for runes, we've got Rune of the Water. This is going to be healing, boon duration, healing, chance to instruct or move a condition, more healing, boon duration, and when you use a heal skill, you and nearby allies are healed for a small amount. More healing for you, bit more healing for your allies whenever you go into celestial form, and your boon duration is also increased, so your swiftness will last a little bit longer at the start of a game, which is always nice. Regeneration lasts longer, alacrity lasts longer, etc, etc, etc. That 6-piece is fantastic. It's a nice little extra heal on top of Troll Unguent, which already in and of itself is an exceptional heal. Moving on to our amulet, we have Mender Amulet. I believe there is a different variant you could run here. I don't remember exactly what it's called. I think, no, it wasn't Sages. I honestly don't remember, but I know there is like another variant you could run if you wanted to. It's like more damage oriented. Avatar, that's the one. If you want more damage as opposed to healing, you can go for Avatar Amulet. Personally, it doesn't really matter to me. I get enough crit chance as is, and you can pull off Fury quite easily from Quickening Zephyr. That'll give you 50% crit chance. That's all you really need compared to Avatar Amulet, just because all that gives you is crit chance. So taking the healing power, which is just fantastic overall, allowing you to do a lot more support, and then you can get your Fury from other places, giving it a coin flip on your auto attacks or on your shots for a crit. So that's not really the best choice. But this gives you power, precision, vitality, healing power. Now, if you guys have followed me for a little while here, you'll know that vitality to me really doesn't mean all that much. But I don't think there's a power, precision, toughness, healing power one, as much as I would love there to be. But still, I digress. Vitality is still quite nice and will mitigate some damage when it comes to Condi Burst, but I would still rather have toughness. But you get what you pay for, I suppose, right? Alright. That's going to be everything in here. We're going to move down to specializations. We're going to go with Wilderness, Survival, Nature Magic, and Druid. You can see this if you want to copy it, but I'm going to go a little bit into detail. We're not going to cover the smalls because the smalls don't really matter unless they come up a little bit later. But to start us off, we're going to go for Soften the Fall. Now, I didn't get why it picked this until I read the usage section, alright? Basically, the way that this works is the reason you take this is when it says that when you use a healing skill, you'll do a lesser muddy terrain. But the thing is lesser muddy terrain counts as a survival skill in and of itself. Now, at the end here, you've got survival skills gain reduced recharge, grant fury, and remove conditions. So, using Troll Engine, we'll do Troll Engine as a cast, and then do the ground thing as a cast. And the advantage of this is Troll Engine itself removes 2 conditions, and the ground thing you create here removes another 2 conditions. So once I figured that out, I was like, oh my lord, that is incredible. It also is a slow in the pulse area, so if you heal with a melee on top of you, you'll immobilize them, you'll cripple them, and you will slow them if they step inside of it, which is exceptional active mitigation pretty much. And to get immobilized is even damn better. So that is going to be a little bit of trickery with that, because I never really understood it. But now that it makes sense to me, this is a little bit amazing, honestly. Moving forward, we got Refined Toxins, which is just going to be a little bit of poison. I mean, the rest of the options are kind of trash. I mean, Shared Anguish is pretty good, I think. Yeah, honestly, I might switch that to Shared Anguish. Yeah, a little bit of extra poison. I mean, it's nice for the heal effectiveness, I guess. But other than that, it's up to you. I'll let you guys choose in this choice here. Refined Toxins is good for the healing effectiveness reduction in ranked if you're able to get that on the right targets. But if you get targeted and go below 75% health, you're not going to be able to put out that poison stack. And it's 1 stack per 15 seconds apparently. But I mean, it's alright. You can choose there. I think I'm going to take Shared Anguish personally. And then I covered the last bit. It gives you 20% reduced cooldowns on survival skills. Now, we're only going to be using 2 survival skills, but this, of course, doubles over as an extra one for more condition removal from Troll Engine there. And then you get Fury, which means we get Fury in our burst combo from Quickening Zephyr, which, as I said before, is why Avatar Amulet is kind of pointless. Excuse the noise while I get a little more comfortable here. Alright. Moving down, we have Nature Magic. We're going to be going for Search and Rescue, which is just going to make your life a whole lot easier when you revive people. This is going to combo with the ability down in Druid for Celestial Shadow, which is when you go into your Druid form, if you exit out of it, you and anyone near you is going to get stealthed. So you exit out of it on top of a teammate, you start rezzing them, it'll instantly teleport your pet over, and your pet will start reviving them as well. So this will make your reviving just so much easier, so much faster. It's incredible when used correctly. Of course, I was talking about Warhorn efficiency here. Here is going to be Windborne Notes, gives you regen and 20% reduced cooldown on your Warhorn skills. Moving on, we have when you receive damage, nearby foes are weakened and you gain protection. Pretty self-explanatory there. And down in Druid, we have Druidic Clarity, which removes every condition in the game, or will remove up to 13 conditions, so pretty much removes everything. Let's be honest. Fantastic. Break stun whenever you go into Druid form. You can just not take this. Like, it's too good. Super Speed. I covered this earlier. Gives you Super Speed and Stealth whenever you leave Celestial forms. Just so good for getting revives. Didn't make sense to me at first, but once I figured out how to use it, it's amazing. Now here's where I make a change. Because I believe they have Grace of the Land as what most people use. Which, yes, it makes sense to me. Even Lingering Light's not bad, but Ancient Seeds is incredible, because now that we've covered this section, I can start showing you the damage rotation. So let me show you what Ancient Seeds does. Essentially, it makes it so that when you knock someone back, if you hit a target that's CC'd, as I press the button like an absolute melon, if you hit a target that is CC'd, it will immobilize them. So if you're thinking what I'm thinking, point blank shot, auto attack, immobilize. It's that simple. It is that simple to get a guaranteed immobilize. Let's just kill this fella really quick, and we can reset ourselves in this encounter here. And goodbye. Wonderful. So point blank shot into a rapid fire is going to be the way you're pretty much going to start most fights, as it's just really good damage off the start. But even more so, I believe I covered everything in here. Just double check. Yeah, it looks like it. Alright, moving down to our abilities, I'll show you these 4, and then I'll show you the damage combo about how powerful this build can actually be. So we've got Troll Engine, covered that earlier. We got Signet of Renewal. This is just near overpowered, if I'm honest. The Break Stun gives you resistance. I don't know if that's pulsing or not. I don't think that's pulsing. It gives you 2.5 seconds of resistance, and this will make it so every pet you have on you, or every condition you have on you, is pulled from you onto your pet, which is just amazing. Let's be honest there. That is incredible. So if you get Condi bombed by a necro, you can pull it all onto your pet, swap pets, and the Condis vanish into oblivion. If you don't have enough removal via Troll Engine, via Celestial Avatar, etc., etc., this build is really good at dealing with Scourge Necromancer. So long as they don't kind of run through your legs over and over and cancel your rapid fire, you're able to deal with them pretty effectively. But yeah, that's pretty much Signet of Renewal. Moving on, Signet of Stone is incredible. This basically nullifies your Condi damage and Condi spikes. This nullifies your power spikes. Improves toughness for you and your pet passively, but when you press it for 3 seconds, you get Ignore Pain and take no damage from power attacks, power-based attacks. So Hunter Blades, Signet of Stone, you don't take damage from it, etc., etc., etc. You got power mitigation, Condi mitigation, damage, and coverage. So Quickening Zephyr is going to give you super speed for 6 seconds, quickness for 8 seconds, and then Fury and Condi removal from our talents, and then you've got Stun Break, which is pretty self-explanatory, but that's where we're going to get our Fury from. It's going to be where our burst damage comes from right here. Now, Strength of the Pack is honestly insane. I used to do really dumb shit, which is Strength of the Pack as I start a fight. Now, you can get away with it sometimes, but if you want to get better at this build, don't. Because the reason is when you go into Druid form, you can get interrupted while in Druid form and using your casts. I'll cover the abilities in Druid form once I build up the meter, doing the damage combos. But using the Strength of the Pack at the start of a fight is throwing away a fantastic stability tool. This can be used for stomping. This can be used for, what I like to use it for is covering Druid form. So say I get Druid form up and I'm going to go into Druid form. I can put up Strength of the Pack, then go into Druid form and do all my big casts without having to worry about it getting interrupted. So like if a pistol thief is going to headshot me over and over, I don't have to worry about that. If there's a Mesmer, I don't have to worry about him daze shattering me over and over and over again, because I just have enough stability that gives you, I think, 10 stacks of stab, which is fucking ludicrous. Which pretty much means you will never get CC'd while you have Strength of the Pack up. So don't waste this ability. Use it correctly and perfectly, and you will become a god. So let me show you the pets really fast. It's going to be the, I don't even know what these fellas are called. This one, Juvenile Bristleback, and the Juvenile Smoke Scale, for the reason of their active abilities. Well, the active ability for this one anyways. It'll shoot a barrage of spikes at your target, and look at that damage, man. This pet does so much work on squishier targets, because they don't even see it coming. It's basically like a second rapid fire. It's so much damage. And then we've all seen the Smoke Scale. This pet can do some ludicrous damage when you swap him correctly. Also, a trick with this pet is that if you're already attacking someone and you pet swap off of this pet onto this guy, he will instantly teleport on top of them so long as you hit your attack my target button. So essentially, if I'm in combat with this guy, for example, if I start fighting this guy and I pet swap and I hit C, he'll instantly go and do his little teleport attack. Now, the trick for that is you have to make sure you hit attack my target. So make sure you've got all of that bound so you can swap your pet target over and over. It will go to whatever's targeted, not what you have on your action camera. So for action camera, it really doesn't matter that much. So you have to make sure you've got the guy actually targeted for your pet controls. Okay, now that being said, we can do the burst combo. It's pretty self-explanatory. Combining whatever ability for whatever active pet you have at the time. You can utilize both of them if you do it in the correct order. I'll wait the 8 seconds and then I'll show you kind of the full damage that you can do. Let's see which one's got more health. Actually, neither of them. Let's go over to this fella over here. And let's burst this one, shall we? So pretty self-explanatory. It's going to be Quickening Zephyr, Rapid Fire into Pet Ability. So we're going to start off with a point blank shot to get an Entangle proc, and then go into that. So point blank shot, Rapid Fire, hit our pet ability. Pet's going to start shooting things, swap pets, and there we pretty much go. Now it doesn't have a ludicrous burst, of course, because it's generally meant to be a bunker / support build, but that is going to be how you kill anything that's not playing a tank. And keep in mind that Entangle is so damn good. Now let me build up the meter, and I will show you what I meant by covering my druid abilities, because we're going to go over there and go and use some druid spells. So let's knock this guy back, swap pets, get some damage going on him. Now you can actually just Quickening Zephyr your auto attacks as well if you don't have Rapid Fire up. Now I wouldn't recommend it. I would recommend trying to line it up, but if you desperately need that kill, you can do that, and it will still turn out some pretty significant damage for you. Alright. Now the one thing is if you're not taking damage, your druid meter takes kind of forever to build up, but you're gonna take a shit ton of damage in PvP. Let's be honest here. So let's get this thing fully stacked. Come on, don't make me have to hit the second one, please. Thank you. All right, let's go over down here, and then I can show you this, and this should round out the druid guide. I need to get out of combat now and mount up and get my way over there, and then after this we can hop into the gameplay portion, to which we can have a little bit of fun and see if we can't carry our team to victory with our druid healer. It takes you forever to get out of combat in here, man, I swear. Alright, let's deal with the warrior, shall we? Come on, fella. So we're gonna knock him back, and there's blocks up. Alright, so basically this guy has a bunch of CC, for example. I don't know if he's gonna use it because I entangled him. Notice how long the entangle lasts. It's just not even getting broken. That is incredible. So we want to cover it with stability, and then we can use pretty much whatever spells we want. I wouldn't recommend using 5 that much. The main heal you're going to want to use is going to be 3 and 4. 4 is going to do a massive AoE healing, and then 3 will do a massive AoE heal as well. Now I just put down a 2 there. 2 will cleanse conditions when it explodes. So you want to make sure that you're in the circle after its little prime up time. It's got like a half second of prime up, and then it's going to do a little pop, and when it does the pop, it'll cure a condition. So you want to make sure that you're in it for the Condi clear. Otherwise your auto attack on it is kind of shit, if I'm entirely honest, especially if you're playing action camera, because you can't put it right on top of yourself. You have to put it like kind of in front of you and like lead your way into it. But if you're not playing action camera, it would probably be a little bit better. So personally, I just like to rotate between 4 and 3, and that generally gets the job done for me anyways. And if I'm in a bit of a disaster or they have a mesmer, I'll hit 5 and it'll do AoE damage. If I'm in like a giant mid-team fight, 5 is kind of okay. That's the only time I really press it though, because it does immobilize you. And the last thing I'm going to cover is that when you are in that druid form that I just showed you, everything there is affected by quickness. So what you can do is, apparently I get healed from my pet healing, so I'll just show you right now. As you can pop in here, notice how these things cast extremely slowly. Quickening Zephyr, and cut the time down pretty much in half, right? There's a Quickening Zephyr 5, the longest cast you have, and here's my showcase of putting the heals down. So you have to make sure that you walk into them, essentially, which isn't the worst thing, but still a little bit of a mild annoyance for those of us who play with action camera. Now I think that pretty much covered everything, so let's go ahead and get ourselves into some gameplay. I'll see you then. Take care, lads.
So heaven if you sent us down, so we can